Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series on microprocessor and peripheral interface. In previous session, we have seen the read and write machine cycles for minimum mode configuration. In this session, we are going to see the read and write machine cycles for maximum mode configuration. So, read and write machine cycles of 8086 for maximum mode of 8086. This is the configuration of 8086 in maximum mode. For maximum mode, this pin is grounded, and here this 8288, it is used in maximum mode configuration, which is not present in minimum mode configuration. Rest of the components, this latch, transceiver, the clock generator are present in minimum as well as maximum mode configuration, but this 8288 bus controller is used in maximum mode configuration, and this bus controller is going to generate this ALE signal, data transmit and receive bar signal, and DEN signal required for the operation of latches and transceivers. The input to this 8288 is the three status signals S0 bar, S1 bar and S2 bar, and at the end means this gives us the output for read and write of memory as well as read and write for the IO devices. This is maximum mode configuration. Now this one is the read machine cycle for maximum mode configuration. If you observe this read machine cycle of maximum mode, it is very similar with read machine cycle of minimum mode configuration. Only few changes are there, means the status signals S0, as we have seen here, the status signal S0 to S2 bar are required for maximum mode configuration, and with the help of these status signals ALE, DT oblique R bar and DEN signals are generated. So here the ALE, DEN, DT oblique R bar and this memory read command and IO read commands are generated with the help of this 8288. So this is only the difference between maximum and minimum mode configuration. So here now we'll see the read machine cycle. So for memory operation, what happens, the memory command should be low, and for IO operation, IO command should be low. But initially in T1 clock cycle, what happens, this memory read command and IO read commands are disabled. Here these are having high values. At the T1, AL is made high, so it will indicate the presence of address on the address bus. Similarly, in the same T1 clock cycle, the address is available A0 to A15 on this multiplexed address lines, and similarly the bus high enable signal along with A16 to A19 address is available on this lines. So this is present in T1 clock cycle. This ALE signal is made low before the address will get disappear from this multiplexed address and data bus. When ALE goes low, then this address is latched into the external latch. Now here the ALE goes low, the address is latched in the external latch. After that, in T2 cycle, what happens, on these address lines A16 to A19, the status signals from S3 to S7 are released. You can observe here these status signals are released, and this AD0 to AD15, it is in floating condition. Now if the operation is read of memory, then this memory read signal will be activated low, means this signal will be enabled, or if the IO read command is there, or means IO port has to read, at that time this will be made low. Similarly, at the same time, the den signal, it is made high in T2 clock cycle. Data transmit and receive bar is made low, since it is a read command. For read command, this signal is low. Now, once that address is latched and this A0 to A15 means AD0 to AD15 lines are floated, so that either the memory or IO device will get the time to read that address, and accordingly the data from that memory location or IO port can be read, and it will be put on this AD0 to AD15 lines. Now on these lines the data is available. So this happens in near about T3 clock cycle. In T4 clock cycle, here the memory read command reading operation is completed, so this is made high. Similarly, IO, if IO operation is there, then this is also made high. Den bar signal is made low in T4, and this DT oblique R bar, it is continue to low state. So by this way the read operation is performed in maximum mode of 8086 configuration. Now we will see the write machine cycle for maximum mode configuration. Again, this write machine cycle is similar to the write cycle in minimum mode configuration, and only differences are there that already we have discussed in read machine cycle. So here during T1 clock cycle, the 8086 will assert memory or IO operation, that will be indicated by 8086. Now at about the same time the ALE signal will be made high. This will enable the address latches. Now the 8086 will output the bus high enable and the desired address on these address lines. A16 to A19 address and bus high enable is output by 8086 on these lines, and similarly in the same clock cycle A0 to A15 address is also made available on this multiplexed address and data lines. Now if the write operation is related with the IO ports, this A16 to A19 lines are always having lower values, means these are always having low state, because the port address is going to be a 16-bit address, and that's why this A16 to A19 will be low, and only this A0 to A15 will be available for IO related write operation. After some time this ALE is made low and the address will get latched into the external latches. Now the 8086 will remove the address A0 to A15 from this AD0 to AD15 and the outputs the desired data on the data bus. Means after taking off the address, the 8086 will put the data D0 to D15 on this address and data lines. At the same time, the status signals S3 to S7 are also output in this T2 clock cycle by the 8086. At the same time, based on write, whether the memory has to write or IO has to write, the 8086 will assert the memory write command if memory operation is there to the low signal, and if IO operation is there, this IO write command is made low. So this is made low and this signal is made low based on memory or IO operation. Now 8086 gives some time for addressed IO port or memory to accept the data which is present on the data bus, and then it will raise this signal back to the high. Means this much time period is provided, T2 T3 clock cycle time period is provided to read the data from the data bus for the memory as well as IO, and then these signals are made high. Now if the addressed memory or port devices, the memory or port devices cannot accept the data within the normal machine cycle, then the external hardware can be set up to produce a low ready input. Means within the provided time period, if the memory or if the IO is not able to accept the data from this data bus, then the ready input is made low. And if the ready input is low before T2 or during T2 clock cycle, then 8086 will introduce the wait T states after this T3 clock cycle. Okay, and that will remain until the ready will remain as low. Means the wait state will be introduced after this T3 when the ready becomes low. During the wait state, if the ready input is made high, then the processor will first of all complete all the wait states, and then it will go to complete this T4 cycle. Here the den signal is made high during T2, and during T4 it is again made low. And for write operation, this data transmit / receive bar, it is always having high value. So by this way the write operation is performed by 8086 processor in maximum mode configuration. So here in this video lecture we have seen how 8086 will perform read operation and write operation in maximum mode configuration. Thank you for watching the video.